Welcome back, mathematicians. In this video, we are going to learn about the equation of a line. Let's start with the different forms of an equation of a line. Point-slope form is y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1, where m is the slope of the line, and the ordered pair x sub 1 comma y sub 1 is a point on the line. And this can be any point that is on your line. Let's go to slope-intercept next. Slope-intercept, which is probably our most common or most memorized form, is y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is the y-intercept of that line. So it's where the line intersects or crosses the y-axis. General form is capital AX plus capital BY is equal to capital C, where A, B, and C are real numbers, except A and B are both not allowed to be zero at the same time. Vertical lines take on the form x equals a constant. We'll call that constant lowercase a, where A is the x-intercept. And then finally, horizontal lines take on the form y equals b, so a constant b, where b is the y-intercept. Okay, so those are the 5 different forms of an equation of a line. Let's now use that information to find an equation that represents each of these lines. Let's start with the first one where we are given a vertical line. So vertical lines have the form x equals a, where a is a constant and a is the x-intercept. Well, this has an x-intercept of 2 comma 0, which means that a is equal to 2, which means the form is x equals 2. So that is your final answer. That is the equation of this line. Let's go to the second one where we now have a diagonal line. This tells me it's not vertical, it's not horizontal, so I can use any of the first 3 forms. Since I know the y-intercept and I can find the slope by counting, I'm going to go ahead and use y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept form. So b is my y-intercept. It's the point where my line crosses the y-axis, and that means that b is equal to positive 1. My slope, m, is the rise over run from one point to another point, and I'm going to go from my left point to my right point, rising 2 and running 3. Therefore, m is equal to, again, the rise is 2 and the run is 3, so 2/3. I'm now going to substitute those into my equation, my form, and it's y equals 2/3 x plus 1. We have 2 more examples where we are going to find an equation that represents each line. Our first line is a horizontal line, which tells me the form is y equals b, where b is the y-intercept. Since the y-intercept occurs at 0, comma negative 1, b would be negative 1, and therefore the equation is y equals negative 1. My next line is a diagonal line, which means I need to use the first 3 forms. But because I don't know the y-intercept exactly, I can't use slope-intercept form. I do, however, have 2 points that are clearly marked on this line, which means I can count from the left point to the right point the slope. So notice I go down 4 units and to the right 5 units, which means that my slope is equal to negative 4, which is the rise, over 5, which is the run. So that's my slope. I do have 2 points that I can use, so I'm going to pick one of these 2 points. I'm going to choose 2 comma 0. So I'm going to pick 2 comma 0 as my point that's on the line. Therefore, I have enough information to use point slope form. Now, point slope form is y minus, and remember x sub 1 and y sub 1 represent one point that is on the line, so therefore my x sub 1 will be 2 and my y sub 1 will be 0. You could have also chosen negative 3 comma 4 as your x sub 1, y sub 1. I just chose 2 comma 0. So it'll be y minus 0 equals negative 4 over 5 times x minus 2. Now from here, you need to figure out, are you being required to solve for y, put it in a slope-intercept form? Do you need to put it in a general form? Or is this form good enough? I'll show you all three forms. So this is point-slope form. To find the next form, which is slope-intercept form, we're going to solve for y. Y minus 0 is y equals negative 4 fifths times x minus 2. I'm now going to distribute the 4 fifths, so I will get y equals negative 4 fifths x plus 8 fifths. So that's my slope-intercept form. But some people may not necessarily like that form because the y-intercept is not an integer. So what you could do is multiply the entire equation by 5. And if you do that, you're going to get this new equation of 5y is equal to negative 4x plus 8. And then if you'd like to convert it to general form, remember general form has the x term and the y term on the same side of the equal sign, we can go ahead and add 4x to both sides. So therefore my final form, or my general form, is 5y plus 4x is equal to 8. So this was general form, this was slope-intercept form, and this is point slope form. So we have all three forms, and you just need to know which one you are required to find. All right, guys, good luck.